Greetings everyone, Melderon here, and welcome to a Classic WoW news update. If you haven't heard yet, Maul, which was originally supposed to release with Phase 2 along with PvP, is being released early, in about a week, on October 15th. The news was released earlier today on the new developer content update released by World of Warcraft, hosted by Ian Hazzikostas. Now with Maul come a lot of interesting additions, including world buffs, upgrades to enchants, trinkets, and pre-raid and non-pre-raid BIS items for a lot of different classes. Now when I first heard this news, my immediate reaction was, why? Why are we rushing Maul, which really trivializes a lot of endgame content when most of the player base isn't even 60 yet? It's actually a bit perplexing, at least in my opinion. I wonder what your opinions are, but I went to Twitter today to test the waters and see what other people thought about this. I tweeted the following: "Looks like Maul is coming out earlier than previously expected. Anyone else feel like we are rushing things?" I got some pretty interesting feedback and I'd like to go over with you guys now. One user wrote, "Watched it, another BS mode for Eon, who said players needed new content. Rag just fell for most guilds, but most telling was his BFA description, which started with him talking about a cinematic. A cinematic? Let that sink in." Another person wrote, "Yes, but I'm pretty sure they're doing it because Archage Unchained comes out that day." Which is interesting considering it may be a marketing move, which I have issues with, and we'll get to that in a second. Another person wrote, "It feels that way. I'd say the majority of players aren't even 60 yet. The only reason I'm level 40 is because I leveled so many characters back in the day, so I know all the quests. My time is pretty limited with work and kids." Another wrote, "Very much so. I hope the first phase was to last about 6 months to give the scrubs, me, adequate time to get to 60 and do the launch dungeons in due time. Would be an error in my opinion to cater to the people playing 6+ hours each day." Someone else wrote, "It's disappointing. The precedent has now been set. Get through content as fast as you can and push Blizzard to release more. It's another really sad development in the world of Classic WoW. Layering, cleave groups, pushing content. All they had to do was make elites stronger. Way too fast. Catering to the vocal minority who did a speed run of the game." Another person wrote, yes, we are. We are in a rush to get it over so they can monetize TBC. And this is another interesting point. Are we rushing this to get to ultimately a expansion with arguably more people actually like? However, I'm going to counter argue with this one saying I'd be hard pressed to think that there are a large amount of people who did not play Classic and are waiting for TBC, considering we're not even 100% sure that TBC is actually going to even come out. So we'll table this for now, but it's a good discussion point. Another wrote, "First they expect the drop off, and now that it's happening, they are panicking and rushing things, eh? Of course there's going to be a drop off in player base when things calm down. So are they pressured to release new content because they feel like they've lost a little bit of the player base? Are we going to rush Classic WoW because they want to capture as many subscriptions or active subscriptions as possible?" And there's some inherent problems with that, but I'll leave that for the end when I give my final thoughts. Does feel knee-jerk, reactionary, rushed. I'm guessing a combination of them wanted to appease the hardcore who are already burning through Ani and MC, and hoping the news splash will pique interest of the casual. And I have to say, I'm one of those people. Our guild has already cleared Ani MC, and we've cleared all the other content, and a fresh dungeon may be fun. But in reality, since most of the player base probably isn't even ready to run Maul, I feel it's a bit rushed. And the last person, really bummed it's going to be out so soon. A lot of people aren't 60 yet, and this seems to be the consensus. So my question is to you, YouTube. Why did they decide to push Maul ahead of schedule out of Phase 2? Is it some kind of marketing tactic to combat another game that's possibly coming out like Archage? Or is it because they feel like the player base is starting to lull and they want to put out new content and they're rushing it to try to do that? And in my opinion, I felt that the phase transitions were really well thought out to begin with, and deviating from that is not smart in my opinion. What's more important? The people who love this game and are going to play it regardless, religiously, or a few people that leave because they are bored? World of Warcraft Classic is not retail. It's not a game that is really comparable to games of today. I feel like if we rush things, we're going to get to the end game too soon. Why are we rushing it? This may be our only chance to play Classic WoW. Are they going to do Fresh Realms? Are they going to bring TBC? Who knows? Since we don't know, why don't we err on the side of just relaxing and enjoying the game? There's a lot to do in the game. And bringing out Maul will make a lot of the game trivial. I mean, a lot of the pre-raid BIS items that are before Maul become immediately obsolete when Maul comes out. So that's less dungeons being run. Are people going to run BRD as much? Are people going to run Skolo as much? Strat? Maybe, maybe not. It really depends on the class and the player. If you are one of those guilds that have cleared everything, level an alt. If you've already cleared MC and Ani, well guess what? You can go back and try to clear it faster. There is a very small percentage of the player base that has all the gear, right? That has Hand of Ragnaros, that has a lot of the epic pieces. Most of the player base doesn't have that yet. And to make the endgame even easier by releasing Maul is just going to ruin the experience in my opinion. Anyway guys, What are your thoughts? Why did they release Dire Maul sooner than we expected and then they said they would? Let me know in the comment section below. Keep on keybinding and grinding, and enjoy yourselves in Classic Azeroth.